Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Social Circle. Today we are dealing with the feminine gender. Those of us that are more femininity altogether. We are introducing the first episode of the mini-series on women. We want to understand what about us makes us tick, what about women needs to be dealt with, what we need to look into. For today, we're just going to have general questions that will probably give you guys an idea of the direction that we're taking. Without further ado, I would like my panelists to introduce themselves. So you decide.
Hi guys, I'm Mokami.
Hi, I'm Mangada.
You forgot the other part.
I'm a clown.
Hi, I am your host, Cecilia. And yeah, let's just get right into it. My wonderful ladies, what would you say defines you as a woman, and what do you think defines a woman? Misha.
We had a discussion before we started this, and I told you I was going to say, but since men and women have, it can be, and it can't be it can't be this other thing like genitalia, because some transgender. So I really don't know what makes me a woman or what defines a woman, because I don't think there really is a difference between men and women. I just don't see it. No. I don't see gender.
You don't see gender? You're non-binary?
I just don't see it. Like, I've been trying to see it and trying to find the difference between men and women, apart from biology, which with time, things like barriers, giving birth, it's being brought down because the men who are getting pregnant.
Okay, that's probably a discussion for another day, but I would think that those are men that were women before they transitioned into women. Well, they were women before they transitioned into men. But I get what you're saying. There isn't really a particular definition apart from the biology of it all that you can give. I don't know, to define a woman. What's your take?
I think having a definition for who a woman is would be boxing women. And I'm with Angaga here. I don't think there can be a definite definition of who a woman is, but if I were to define myself, I'd say my ambition. Knowing how society is, I know women need to work 10 times harder to get what they deserve. So as a lady, I define myself as ambitious, among many other things.
What you guys have said really resonates, because I was listening to Chimamanda Ngozi, and she was talking about how our identity is majorly defined by the society that we grew up in, by what people say about us, by the stories that are told by us. So it becomes very hard for you to really define who you are as a woman and who probably a woman should be, because the society will define a woman as a person that, I don't know, gives birth, like you say, brings forth children, brings forth life, and cooks and nurtures and all that. But you might want to define yourself, you might want to identify as more ambitious, more, I don't know, more inclined to doing other things other than what the society thinks a woman is. And I don't know, on that note, I would say what defines me as a woman is my ability to bring people together, my ability to be the sort of glue that brings people together. So that I think that is how I define myself. And this ties into what you just said, ties into the next question on stereotypes. Okay. There are so many stereotypes about women. Okay, that side tells a lot. Which kind do you think you don't really agree with, and which ones do you think are myths?
Okay, the first one would be women are naturals. Okay, there are women who are, but I'm speaking from my own experiences. I'm not a natural. I've had plants die under my wing. I've had a cat run away.
Yeah,
not a natural.
I hear you.
Yeah. So women are not natural.
They're not?
Not all of them are capable of nurturing things.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's very honest. Any other? No, Mokami?
God, stereotypes. They're really, really. But let me just say the most recent that I've seen people on social media discussing is women and money, and women and men who have money, forgetting that there are ladies who look for other things, like the other things you look at. Of course, pia unaangalia sura, si pesa tu, but
well, so I don't know. Some will dispute that.
Ambition. Well, yeah, I think that's the example I will give. Something that I've been seeing going around social media quite often these days.
It's true. That is definitely true. My stereotype that I really don't like is this idea that women are difficult to deal with.
True.
I don't understand where it came from. Oh, women are difficult to understand. Women just want 1, 2, 3, and they probably don't mean what they say. The whole you'll say no until you say yes, or you say no when you actually mean yes. It makes no sense. It goes back to the societal construct of who a woman is supposed to be, how we are supposed to think. It's probably the same argument that that people that say women of color, not in Africa, we probably don't go through that, but women of color in the US, they're called aggressive. Actually, any woman is called aggressive when you're trying to communicate something. And if you are not going by what that person is saying, you're called, I don't know, people say you're difficult to deal with, you're hard to understand. So I think that is a stereotype that really affects women and really affects me as a person. It doesn't make sense why, just because I have a different view from what you were saying, it means I'm difficult. It doesn't make any sense. And that's it. Do you have any other stereotype?
Yeah, I have a lot of them. And then there's women are emotional and they're less rational and more emotional. Okay, you guys may don't know. I'm not. I'm not emotional. I have a problem showing my emotions sometimes, but I wouldn't say I'm extra rational, but I prefer rational.
Logic.
That one.
What's that one?
Logic to using your emotions to think instead of using rational.
That's I find that very weird, that when a woman makes decision according to her emotions and what she feels, it's termed as being a weak thing. It's a stereotype because not all women apply, like you said yourself, you don't use your emotions to make decisions, you apply logic. But why is it that when it comes to such stereotypes, so to speak, the opposite of that when it comes to men is that men that use their emotions to make decisions are simps?
It's just the way they equate emotions to weakness, as you said.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense, but it's the easiest way to explain things.
Mokami.
Men. Any other
You should
stereotypes?
say men.
This is not about them. It's about us.
Goodness.
Let me help you. Women are organized.
Ooh, and we are what's the thing called? Multitaskers.
We're
good
not.
at multitasking. Who?
We are
Because, I mean, yeah, you roll your eyes because you probably are.
Oh, you are.
I'm really good at multitasking.
Yeah, you probably are.
But I get it's a stereotype that not every woman can. Oh yeah, I've gotten one that I would really like to talk about. That every lady wants children. It's a stereotype that, by the way, I didn't think would still exist, especially where we are in 2021. I didn't think such a stereotype would exist because the ladies who don't want to get married, the ladies who don't want children, they just want to enjoy their lives by themselves. Some want to get children and not get married, some want to get married and not get children. So I think those are some of the stereotypes. Honestly, I would work hard to fight. And that also eventually affects marriages because people get married and then you expect children 2 years later, and maybe the husband is the one who's impotent, and then you think this lady,
the woman,
the
in-laws come for you.
Exactly. So yeah, I think that's one stereotype that really needs to be discussed and people need to accept choice.
Yeah,
especially the marriage part. I honestly, I don't know if someone is just going to call Asamina and talk to our parents. We don't want to get married. Maybe sperms.
Oh,
one child.
okay.
But I just don't want to. I mean, we don't. No. I just don't want to.
I feel like this is a personal decision. So
yeah,
I'm
like
not
it
sure
shouldn't be
yet.
On
Like
you.
chokehold.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that, mom. Don't do that.
And I think I'll take the cue from you guys. And we've talked about the whole you're expected to give birth, you're expected to be a wife, and all that. What are probably some of the fears, bouncing off of that, what are some of the fears that you will say an average woman, which includes us, of course, feels when it comes to womanhood?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, let me start with something controversial.
I like controversy. Give it to me.
I think, I don't know if every woman thinks about this, but it crosses my mind once in a while. Whatever situation it is at, sexual assault. Like walking down the streets.
True.
I'm actually very cautious walking because, I don't know, you always feel like there's someone out to get you. At night, Kwanza town, there's this time I was walking in town, and it wasn't even at night, it was at 7, but it was on a Sunday, there were no people.
Yeah.
So I kept walking fast because someone is out to get me. Plus I was wearing shorts.
Oh god.
And
Yeah.
it's when you wear shorts.
So it's not my biggest fears, but it's just one of those fears I have as a woman, not as a person, as a woman.
Yeah.
Sexual assault at any time, it can happen anytime.
And it's very scary that we're now living in a world where that is actually a possibility that could happen just around the corner, and there are people that probably won't do anything. They'll just go about their day like nothing happened, and you'll become just part of the statistics. Yeah.
Yes, you will.
Okay.
When you said you would ask that question, honestly, my biggest fear is that
Wow.
Mine is sexual assault, and to deal with that, I'm currently looking for a place I could go for karate classes because I need to defend myself.
Yeah.
Well, I've gotten a place in town for anyone who's watching and they feel like they want to go for karate classes. It's on Fangano Street, but if I could get a place closer to Thika Road, so this is for the public. Give me suggestions. But honestly, that is my biggest fear. I don't mind being mugged. Honestly, you can steal what you want to steal from me because all those things are replaceable. But sexual assault is on another level, and I would really want to be able to defend myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And in terms of, because you had brought up marriage, I think marrying the wrong person, someone who I just cannot stand, someone who don't want to marriage. I look at her and think, what was I thinking? Yeah.
True.
So yeah, I think those are some of my biggest fears as a lady.
True. You guys talked about sexual assault, and that is like a deep fear for every young woman, even an elderly woman, even men. And it's very disheartening. It's rather disheartening to find out that this is something that is happening. You're saying something.
Yeah, but I feel the need to mention that in as much as we feel we fear that happening to us, I mean sexual assault happening, there is an effect that comes along after that. That is men who are now caught up in the web of women being afraid of men, and they don't know what to do. Like there's this instance, it's not mine, someone said it. She was in an elevator in a closed space, let me just say closed space, with a guy, and the guy started whistling a nursery rhyme because now he thought he thought that she was threatened by him, so he had to whistle the nursery rhyme to make it look like he was not a threat to her.
Oh no.
Yeah, so there is
that gives me very serial killer vibes though.
Right?
That gives me such serial killer
it's
vibes.
not like he was saying come play with us. No, he was just meaning row your boat actually. Yeah. That was
that's so.
That is serial killer.
Exactly.
I don't know what you're talking
Because
about.
the movies I've watched.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
The crime movies I've watched, before someone kills someone, that's what they whistle.
Some weird cynical right.
Yeah.
But I get the point you're making. A grown man whistling a nursery.
he was black and she was white.
Okay. Racial factors now would really
That
come
was in the
into
US,
that.
so let's stop talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't relate to that.
I believe my biggest fear is, and I think it's come true a couple of times, is existing in a world where men do not think that we are capable. It scares me. Like right now, I'm not fully employed. Yeah, I'm not working in an office, so I'm not really facing the problems that the women working in offices are facing. But you hear these stories of, oh, you did a report, somebody else took credit for it, or somebody insulted you in the office, and you couldn't say anything about it. Now, my personality does not allow me to keep quiet. And when you don't keep quiet, it comes with ramifications. I am very scared of the kind of future that I am facing as a woman in a society that looks down upon women. It's very, very scary for me. It's like, it gives me jitters sometimes to think that one day I will have to cower down just because of my position, because I can't do anything about it.
And it's really bad in the legal profession. Just saying, it's really, really bad.
Hey, my
And
God.
there's this thing about being a female and in the employment sector. I just want you to employ me because I have actually the potential and the brains to do things, and not because I'm a female. So I just want people to blur the fact that I have boobs and a vagina. Just look at my brain, man. Just look past all that.
Yeah.
Just look at me as a person and not a woman.
Yeah, I mean those are very valid fears, and we're talking about employment right now, and we've all taken a similar career path, yeah. So, but we were all motivated by different things. So, Mukami, what motivated you to go into the legal profession?
This will probably come up later, but honestly, what really motivated me to get into the legal profession is because I wanted to know how things run. Because the law touches into every single aspect of your life. Be it you have been hospitalized, you need to read whatever short contract they give you, and you need to sign it. Insurance, housing, and these days house owners are moving towards having contracts between them and their tenants. So I decided this at a really, really, really young age, to be honest. I think I was 9, 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So I just wanted to know more.
My answer is
stupid. I just wanted to know more about the legal profession. But in all honesty, I did change my ideas of what I wanted to become slowly. But by the time I was in Form 4, I knew I really want to get into law school, because I had thought about it and applied for analytical chemistry. Then I wasn't called. So I ended up in law school. I never thought about medicine. I thought about being an astronaut at some point.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you say astronaut?
Yeah.
Shorter to go to the moon.
I mean,
Mars.
we can do anything.
We are capable.
So yeah, that's what led me to getting into the legal profession.
Such an inspiring story. I think everyone who's interacted with me deeply, closely, has had me say this story. I did law, but that was not the career path I intended to do ever in my life. I mean, growing up, I had people tell me, you could be a journalist. I'm like, yeah, I could. Because you have a strong personality and you talk to people. And then I grew up and became an introvert and started eating human beings. And then
got the progression.
Yeah. In high school, let me just say this. In high school, there's this woman who came. She was a lawyer. She gave such an inspiring story about how she wanted to be a lawyer because she learned grabbing and family. I'm like, cool. That's nice. And people asked me what I wanted to be. I didn't know what I wanted to be. So if it were not for my parents, I will not have done law, but I'm actually very grateful that they steered me towards doing law, because I was caught between looking for a big course that iko na jina kubwa and a course that did not have mathematics. Otherwise I would have taken catering because the end product is food. But yeah, I'm glad I was steered in that direction. If anything, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I said I just wanted to do something that ilikuwa na jina kubwa and it have mathematics, and law was that thing. So yeah, I'm glad we found each other.
Okay. You guys have good answers. Are you sure you want to hear my answer? Well, I chose to do law because I got the grades. There's this thing. I think it's in every African, Asian home. I don't know if there's stereotypes like this in the Western world, but it's just, I think worlds that were colonized and the idea of being the best in class was instilled in our minds by the colonizers. The idea that when you get good grades, then you must do something that commensurates with the grade. Or everyone in the family has to become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, yeah? But that being said, I went through the motions of what children usually go through. You know, when you're in class 4, you want to be a doctor. When you get to class 8, you want to be, a scientist. When you get to Form 1, you want to be something else. And when you get to Form 4, now when the decision needs to be made, you're not very sure what you want to do. You have something that you think you can do, but it's not like really clear cuts on what you want to do. So yeah, I wanted to become a nun at class 4.
What?
Yes, I wanted to become a nun. There were plans to probably take me to a seminary somewhere. And then at class 8, I wanted to become a lawyer. So yeah, I might say that I got the grades for it, but I wanted to do it at some point. But at Form 4, I wanted to become a political analyst. I figured to do law as the main degree first, the first degree, because in Kenya you can't do law as a second degree. And I don't think you can practice if you do it as a second degree. So I figured, let me do law as a first degree, and then I'll do political science. So yeah, that is how I ended up doing it. And I think we've all, apart from Ivory, we've all mentioned elements of not really that being our main choice, yeah? So I have a question. At what point in your life, career-wise or otherwise, did you feel like it was your lowest? And maybe we can, I don't know if you can apply it to the general female world, but what point do you think in your life did you get to that was like the lowest? And how did you, get yourself out of it? It might help someone.
Wait, as in career-wise or not life?
Life.
2018 was a shit year for me. Yeah, that's just it. I can't go into it.
Okay, how did you get yourself out of that?
I don't know, I just found myself out of it because I tried toxic things like, the usual substance and shutting yourself out of the world. But I distracted myself with school. That time I was still in school. And friends, I guess. Yeah, friends. Although they didn't really know exactly what I was going through. But I was distracting myself with company of people and substance and music. Oh God, Lana Del Rey. And extra tension.
Yeah, she kept your company.
I know, when I'm sad I listen to sad songs and I elevate the sadness.
You're getting comfortable in the pain.
Yeah, you get comfortable with it until you now unachoka nayo. Then sanachana.
You're lucky.
Yeah, because I move away from things when I get tired of them.
You're very lucky. I feel like you're 1 in a million, because majority of the people when they get Lord, when they get comfortable, I was just about to say something so sweet.
I know.
Continue.
When they get comfortable in the pain and the sadness, they dig a deeper hole and they keep digging and they keep digging and they don't know where to stop. And before they realize it's this darkness around them and they don't know what to do with it.
No, so, but doesn't mean that I didn't get to that point of rock bottom. rock bottom, but I did. Thing is, when you realize that everyone around you has moved on and is no longer caught up in your web of sadness, you will have to pick yourself up. Pick yourself up. And it's, yeah, as you said, I'm one in a million. I can do that. Yes, you are. I did, but I had to, because everyone else, it seemed like no one else could understand what I was going through. So I just made it a point for me to get myself up and continue living with reasons. I gave myself reasons. I didn't say, I'm not saying that I was suicidal, but I'm just saying I was giving myself reasons to why I should be alive. And that helped me.
That opens up a conversation on how women deal with mental health that I think we will have on the next episode. So, Mukami.
Saying that I'm not CG 40, it means maybe my experiences haven't. Maybe someone who is 40 will watch this and think, oh well, that's nothing. But for me, honestly, it was having to deal with failure, and this was at a really young age. And I used to be bullied a lot by my primary school teachers. A lot.
The teachers?
Yeah, a lot. So I think that was the toughest moment for me. And you know, at that time, you're really young. I wasn't yet a teenager when it started. Probably when I was in class 4. So what happened is my grades took a dip, and then they took a dip when I was starting a new class. So obviously this new class teacher doesn't know me, and I remember I don't honestly, I think about it sometimes and I think, oh God, why did my grades take a dip? And I don't have an answer, to be honest. So what this teacher did the first time, can I just say teacher? I probably, yeah. What this teacher did was I used to sit at the back. So when we opened school in the second term, we were 29 students, no 30. So I came in 29 out of 30. Yeah, my grades took a dip, like from here to, from 13th floor to ground floor. So what she did, we opened school and then she said, Ivory here, she failed so much. I mean, in fact, even number 30 didn't do all the exams. So let's just say she came last. And then she said, you guys turn and laugh at her. Yeah, and
she needs to be arrested.
Why?
No, but
bullying.
Exactly, that's bullying. I was in class 4.
That's a 10
So I was 9. No, I was 9. Yeah, I was 9. So everyone just turned and laughed. No. So obviously that really affected me, and then it continued with the teachers. This is feeling so personal, but it continued with the teachers, but we're having honest conversations, yeah? So it continued with the teachers, and I remember in class 6 I also got a horrible teacher, and most of the teachers were really bad. So they were out, honestly I believe they were out to get me. Honestly, because they used to bully me.
Type of way.
They used to bully me so much. And then unfortunately, I ended up in one of the teacher's classes in class 7. So it was worse. And I remember one day that teacher saying, and I used to sit at the back, also in his class. He said that I think he had just studied the previous night. And he thought, Ivory might have ADHD. So he was at the front of the class teaching, and he was like, Ivory, you know what? You have ADHD. Do you know what that is?
He accused you of having a mental illness. That's literally what he accused you of.
Yeah.
True. Pedophile.
I don't think I've ever had to deal with a tough moment, tough years consecutively, such as when I was in primary school. But in class 8, I got a really good teacher. She's now Dr. Gimode. So, yeah.
She did good.
Yeah, she did good. And how I overcame that, because you also asked that, is I learned to fight fire with fire. Obviously, I pick my battles, but I learned to fight fire with fire. If I see this fire, I'm trying to put it out and it's Aishi, I will burn the whole place down. I learned to fight fire with fire, and for that reason, I I'm not really able to speak loudly most times. So, and I think that also made me an easy target. So what I did, despite the fact that I've known how to roll my eyes since like forever, like when I was born, what I learned is to speak using my eyes, especially with the teachers and
kids.
Yeah, and it's something. My brother is 10 years younger than me, so he went to the same primary school. But it's something I always ensured he would not have to go through. I'm sure by the time I'm hitting 40, I'll have a different story. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
About you?
I got
Because
no
you never.
points.
Oh,
I'm
please.
always happy. I don't know what you're talking about. My lowest point. I think I've told you guys about this before. Was 2019 when I chose not to go to school when everyone else like Mukami was going to school to do the other diploma that we are expected to do after you're done with your LLB. And it got to a point where I would wake up in the morning and not want to wake up. You know how you go to bed at night and you wonder if it's possible to just sleep through life and wake up when things get better? I got to that point and it was horrible. I used to wake up, have breakfast in bed, watch movies on Netflix the entire day, sleep, eat dinner, sleep, wake up and repeat. And it was terrible. It went on for like 3-4 months, yeah? And how I got out of it, I think it's the same thing with Michelle. I allowed myself to wallow, to feel. Sometimes people don't understand this, but sometimes it's okay to allow yourself to feel what you're feeling at that moment, yeah? It's okay to sit in that sad moment and just feel it. Because if you try to postpone it to another time because you're trying to be strong, you're probably going to blow up at some point. So I had to sit in that pain, in that sadness, in that crazy place in my head until it got to a point where I couldn't do it anymore. It became too much, so I found a purpose. I had to go back to doing what I know how to do, which is be amazing. But on a serious note, I had to go back to thinking about, first of all, I'm amazing. Don't even. What am I saying? I have to go back to doing the things that will help me progress. Because I'm ambitious and because I want more in life. I have to go back to that. And as we wind up, I have an interesting question, lately. 2 last questions. What have you learned about men as you have grown up? What have you learned about the other gender? What do you think you know now that you didn't know when you were 10? Keep it PG, keep it PG. What? Nothing?
But y'all are amazing people though. But I don't know, I used to think men were scary people, but I just realized that they're not. We can actually deal with men. Yeah, so there's nothing you have learned about men. It's just things. Just imagine. There's nothing you have learned. I always knew.
So if I could add another question to that, the other question is, what do you think men should know about women? Something you want to teach them that you don't think they know or they have the wrong idea of?
I don't know. I don't think there's anything I would tell men to know that they don't know per se, and they have not taken the initiative to know. So, because that time when I don't know, but I wouldn't say I know myself as a woman.
Okay.
So I can't start telling men to go and learn this and this and this about women. So yeah, we're all in this fear of things, not knowing things. So yeah, don't worry, men, we're all in this together, even we don't know.
Okay. What have you learned and what do you think we should know?
What I've learned is that most men are how they are brought up. And it has, and upbringing, I wouldn't place the onus on one particular parent unless you have that one parent. So men, the society really gives men leeway to do a lot of nasty things and act horribly in the name of the kijana, boys will be boys. It's a man, that's what they do. I think that's what I've learned, honestly. Yeah. in a nutshell. And what I would want them to know is to stop taking Amerixes. Man, I am I'm waiting for the comments, but
Sorry, Amerix.
yeah, sorry, Amerix, but I want them not to take his word as the gospel truth. He's telling men on social media how to act and to be horrible to ladies, etc, etc. But if it's a man, he might be having a really good relationship with whoever he's dating. He might be the best husband you will ever imagine, you know, anyone could have. And if it's a lady, it's probably someone who's bitter. So that's honestly, that's my advice to them, because I've realized many of them really take his word as gospel truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's word, and because they don't show the gender. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us on that episode, and we are grateful that you guys are keeping us engaged. We thank you for the views. We don't take it for granted. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you would like to keep engaging with us, we will include our Instagram page, our emails, and all that. You can find the other stuff. Yeah, Clown in Transit. We'll include the link down below. Stay safe, stay beautiful, and you are amazing just the way you are. Sayonara.
Bye.
Bye.